Kevalam Pavanam Kevalam Pavanam Kevalam Pavanam Kevalam Pavanam Pavanamo Kevalamo Pavanam Kevalam Pavanamo Kevalamo Pavanam Kevalam Pavana Pavana Kevalam Pavanam Kevalam Pavanam Kevalam Pavanam Kevalam Pavanam Pavanamo Kevalamo Pavanam Kevalam. Namaskar, everybody. Welcome to our online meditation and personal development sessions. Here we can help you have a better understanding of yourself and a better relationship with the universe through meditation techniques, tantric wisdom, personal development, and one of our biggest features is spiritual community. And that's what today is all about on Saturday mornings, is celebrating our spiritual community, celebrating each other's progress, our own progress, meditating together, being a part of a spiritual family. So if today is definitely one of the best features that Tantra Thoughts has to offer. And our community is called Vistara Circle. So welcome. If you're new, let me go ahead and begin by doing some basic, giving you some basic points in case this is your first time. So if you are not connected yet with us through our email list, I invite you to do that. This way you can get invitations for online sessions, webinars, retreats, and what you'll gain is a free ebook that we highly recommend. And that is an ebook on the yamas and niyamas. So it's called The 10 Moral Principles of Yoga, Yama and Niyama. Today we'll talk more about those yamas and niyamas. Definitely have a cushion handy for meditation, be in a quiet place, and go ahead, please, and announce yourself, especially if you're new. And if you're not new, definitely announce yourself because we want to reconnect with all of our lovely members. But tell us the highlight of your week. And if you've been here less than 4 times, then tell us how many times you've been here. So I already see some people here on the chat. So let's get to saying hello. All right. So I see that Karen is here. Namaskar, Karen, from Greenville, Tennessee. Happy May Day. That's right. Today is May Day. Excellent. Did anyone else wash their face with the morning dew? I did. We'll see if my freckles fall off. That is beautiful. I'm going to do that at some point in my life. I'm going to do that. That's great to wash your face with the morning dew. Beautiful. Yeah, that's so nice. Thanks a lot for sharing. And we have B Melanin Star Rising. She says, thank you. B Melanin, welcome. Is this your first time here? Please let us know. Also tell us where you're joining us from. If it's your first time here, I'd love to know because I want to give you a nice welcome. So please confirm that. Thanks for commenting. Stick around. We're having our whole collective meditation today. Ritva, namaskar from Stockholm, Sweden. Namaskar, dear sister. It's always wonderful to have you join us. Thanks for being here. Alicia says, Namaskar from Asheville, North Carolina. Namaskar, Alicia. Tell us what's going on with you. Same thing with you, Ridva. How's life in Stockholm? And Karen is here. Karen says, Namaskar, beautiful morning. Namaskar, Karen. Joining us from Vancouver, I believe. So tell us, Karen, what's been the highlight of your week? Okay. And oh, Simran is back. Namaskar, sister. Thanks for joining us all the way from India. It's so everybody, I invite you to keep track of where folks are at. Stockholm, Vancouver, Canada. Tell us what part of India you're in, Simran. And because when we meditate today, actually, we're going to do something different at the end of our meditation. But usually we like to sort of picture everybody where they are and send light to everybody after meditation. But still, it's nice to know that from all these different parts of the world, our minds and our energies are going to merge when we meditate together. So thanks for being here, Simran. Tell us also the highlight of your week. And we have Rawad here from Sweden. That's awesome. So 2 people from Sweden. And Rawad, is this your first time here? Please let us know. Okay. Simran says in India from Haridwar. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So welcome. And let's see here. I'm going to now get to our agenda. Here's what we do. I'm mainly going over this because I think some of these folks are first timers, okay, like Rawad and B Melanin. So I think they're first timers. So then let's cover some of these points for them, but definitely please confirm if this is your first time. And yes, Rawad, this is your first time. All the love. Thank you, brother. I'm so happy you're here. Tell us, please, where you're joining us from. And right now, I want to invite everybody in our community to please put 5 hearts into the chat for Rawad. Okay, it's his first time here. That's really special. So because he's going to be lending his energy toward our meditation and our experience. So that's really, really special. So everybody, please join me in putting in 5 hearts into the chat to welcome Rawad. Now, let me finish covering the agenda points here. So, oh, I put the wrong thing on the screen. I apologize. This is what I wanted to show. And so here's what we're doing. We already covered the reminders and the greetings. There's a couple more comments that just came in. I'll get to those before we go on. But then we're going to do some kirtan today. We'll have the guided meditation. Today's class is on a video that was recently released on Tantra Thoughts called 8 Limbs of Yoga Explained in a Crime Drama. All right, so I hope you saw it. Let me know in the chat if you've seen that video, because if you've seen it, then you'll know what we're talking about. If you have any comments, or I ask people to prepare some comments or questions on that video. So today we're going to talk about the message in the video and also the video itself, okay? But mainly the content, okay? The value of the video. That'll be our discussion, and then we will have some brief announcements. Okay, so like I said, before we start Kirtan, there's a few more comments that came in. And Jake has joined us. So welcome, Jake. Namaskar, brother, from Austin, Texas. And Karen said, the highlight of my week was following my routine and adding now fluently mantras and meditation in silence, being more diligent. Journey writing has become very deep. That's great. That's wonderful. So then this week you went deeper into your practices. You're developing your spiritual life. I really, really admire that. And I really, really want to thank you for being in our community, okay? And sharing this with us, inspiring others to do this. Alicia says, lots going on for me, moving into a new studio and wrapping up the school year. All good, but busy, busy, busy. Great. And also you're heading to Ireland. So that is something exciting. And there's love from her for Rawad. So Rawad, there's the hearts from Alicia and from Simran and from Karen and Karen from Tennessee. And here we have some love from Andra And Rawad feels the love. Wonderful. Okay, good. I'm glad it touched you. Alicia says, I love the video. Okay, great. So Alicia, any questions or comments you have about the video, go ahead and type them in. That'll be our discussion for later. And Simran says, yes, I've seen that video. Awesome. Okay, good. So I hope I'm looking forward to chatting about it with you. There is Karen saw the video. Great. All right. And there's some love from Jake for everybody. Thank you, brother. So why don't we go ahead and get started? I'm going to explain for Rawad the meditation, the mantra that we use. So Rawad, you are going to hear in the kirtan this mantra being sung, Baba Nam Kevalam. And it means the supreme consciousness is all there is, or only the feeling of infinite love. So listening to the kirtan is an opportunity to get settled and get in the right vibe for your meditation. Okay? Meditation is very intimate because you are going inside yourself. You are connecting with, you're entering into a relationship with the divine, with the supreme consciousness. And this should be considered like a personal relationship. So it's like, who is your true beloved? Your true beloved is, you might have a beloved, right? Like your partner in your life, your husband, wife in your life. But the true beloved is the one who is infinite, who, all of our relative beloveds, they leave the body eventually, and those relationships sometimes don't last forever, but the relationship with the supreme consciousness can last forever. So the kirtan is meant to be very intimate. It creates that mood for you to, go enter into this relationship now and have this experience by merging with that supreme beloved. So I invite you to do that, feel that in your mind, and then that's going to prepare you for the meditation that will follow right after the kirtan. So let's all give that a try then.
Kevalam Bhavana, Kevalam Bhavana, Kevalam Bhavana, Bhavanamo, Kevalamo, Bhavanam Kevalam, Bhavanamo, Kevalamo, Bhavanam Kevalam, Bhavana, Kevalam Bhavana, Kevalam Bhavana, Kevalam Bhavana, Kevalam Bhavana, Bhavanamo, Kevalamo, Kevalam Bhavanam Bhavanamo Kevalamo Bhavanam Kevalam Bhavanamo Kevalamo Bhavanam Kevalam Bhavana Bhavana Kevalam Bhavana Kevalam Bhavana Kevalam Bhavana Kevalam Bhavana Bhavanamo Kevalamo Bhavanam Kevalam Bhavanamo Kevalamo Bhavanam Kevalam Bhavana Kevalam Bhavana Kevalam Bhavana Kevalam Bhavana Kevalam Bhavana Bhavanamo Kevalamo Bhavanam Kevalam Bhavanamo Kevalamo Bhavanam Kevalam Bhavana Bhavana Kevalam Bhavana Kevalam Bhavana Kevalam Bhavana Kevalam Bhavana Bhavanamo Kevalamo Bhavanam Kevalam Bhavanamo Kevalamo Bhavanam Kevalam Bhavana Kevalam Bhava
Go ahead and sit comfortably and prepare the body for meditation. Get into the most comfortable asana posture for the body, for you to connect with the divine. Take your hands and interlace your fingers. Place your hands on your lap. Make sure your back is nice and straight and tall. And see where you can make it more straight, while at the same time comfortable. So monitor your lower back and your upper back for the best alignment possible. Your body is your vehicle in this mystical journey that will be your meditation. And so let your body be still so that your mind can move toward the soul more freely. Now let's incorporate some pranayama, breath control practice, and find your breath. Expand the abdominal area with each inhalation and relax your shoulders as you exhale. Relax your body. Breathing in deeply, pushing down on the lower abdomen, and breathing out in a nice, long, and smooth, steady way. Notice the effect on the mind when the exhalations are smooth, long, and steady, longer than the inhalations. With each exhalation, feel more peace and feel all the tension in the body release. Notice how the body is a tool for your meditation, and notice how the breath links the body and the mind and is a powerful tool for your mind to go toward the soul as well. Keep breathing deeply and stop to notice what each breath offers you. We can now flow into pratyahara, sensory withdrawal. So on your next exhalation, feel that you are withdrawing all of your senses and letting go of the outside world. As you exhale, make an intention to not be moved by what you hear on the outside or what you smell on the outside. Make an intention to be inside your mind. So on the next exhalation, also let go of the body. Try to feel that the world and the body is no longer there. You are just your mind. And on your next exhalation, let go of your past. Let go of the thoughts that come up. Be in your consciousness. So, on your next exhalation, feel more settled in your consciousness. And start to think about your consciousness not as a unit consciousness, but as a part of the infinite consciousness, like a wave riding the ocean. When the wave falls, it dissolves back into the ocean. And so immerse yourself in the realization that you are the fabric of the infinite itself in unit form. Expand yourself toward the infinite. And take the help of the mantra, Baba Nam Kevalam, and start to repeat it silently to yourself. Concentrate on the mantra and concentrate on its meaning to practice dharana, concentration. If any other thoughts come up, imagine that they dissolve back into consciousness and continue meditating, concentrating on the mantra and its meaning. As you begin to picture the supreme consciousness or infinite love, and as you begin to feel yourself merging with that, you'll begin to practice dhyan. You'll start to flow effortlessly at some point toward the supreme by way of your concentration. Allow yourself to enter that flow state. Allow yourself to deepen the relationship that you have with the supreme consciousness or infinite love. Feel free to express all of your love and devotion. As you deepen this flow state, you may experience samadhi, oneness with the supreme consciousness or infinite love. And so let that be the goal now of your meditation. As you think, so you become. And so the more you repeat this mantra in a concentrated fashion and enter into a beautiful relationship with the Supreme, the more you will become one with that supreme being or love. We'll meditate now for a few more minutes, and I'll cue you when it is time to come back. go ahead and start to come back. As if you had been removed somewhat from your mind and from your body and from the world around you. Feel that you are coming back to occupy the sacred space of your mind, the sacred space of your body, and the sacred space of the world we live in. But before you open your eyes, I invite you to go ahead and shift the body and come into a kneeling position on the floor. Knees on the floor, sitting on your feet. And take your hands and cup them in front of you as if you are making an offering. And imagine that in your hands is a beautiful, beautiful flower, as gorgeous as you'd like to imagine it. And take a moment to think of all the things right now in your life that are blocking you from the Supreme Consciousness, from a better relationship with the Supreme. And empty those things into the petals of this flower. You can also put all of the thoughts that popped up in your mind as you were meditating, which were blocking you from your goal, and empty them into the petals of this flower. Feel as though you're transferring all of these burdens into the flower. And now visualize the Supreme Consciousness and lower this flower down to the feet of that Supreme. And feel as though you offer all of these burdens and you will be free from them. Once you've released the flower, I invite you to lower yourself in a prostration on the ground to the same feet of that Supreme and surrender the ego and offer yourself. We can then come back up from the ground to our sitting position, and we can start to open the eyes. Namaskar. So, welcome back. And let me know, please, in the comments how you experienced that meditation and how you felt about that last exercise that we did. And basically, what we did in our meditation is we verbally mentioned the 6 limbs of Ashtanga Yoga at every stage of the meditation that we were practicing that limb of yoga. So, for example, when in the beginning, first we're doing asana. right? That's one of the limbs. We are making sure the body is in a comfortable and proper position for meditation. So, asana means yoga posture. It means a posture that's comfortable for the body. And some of the most um, ba- famous sitting positions are Sukhasana, Padmasana, which is the full lotus sitting position, Siddhasana, where both of your heels are stacked one over the other, tucked into the first chakra, close to the body. Sukhasana is the comfortable sitting position where you can just comfortably just cross your legs in any way that you can. So we went through asana, then we went into pranayama, breath control, observing the breath, controlling the breath, um, making the exhalation longer than the inhalation. Then we went into pratyahara, a feeling of letting go of the world. So using the breath, so breathing out, letting go of the world, breathing out again, letting go of the body, breathing out again, being in that deep part of the mind where you are just aware of yourself, nothing more, nothing less. And then we went from there to before we went to the mantra, which is when you start concentrating on one thing, that mantra. Of course, we talked about the ideation, to visualize that supreme consciousness or infinite love. Because when you concentrate on the mantra, you're practicing dharana, and dharana means concentration. So, but that concentration also needs to include the ideation. So it's not just concentrating on the word, but also concentrating on what the word means, on what Bhavanam Kevalam means in this case. And then from that state of dharana, as you go deeper into the ideation, you naturally start to go into dhyan. Dhyan is the effortless flow toward the supreme consciousness. So you start to feel that love and that attraction, and that the relationship now is deepening. And so you're practicing dhyan in that way, and you give all your love, all your devotion. Um, you do your best to have an image in the mind where you feel like you are just almost like a child in the lap of that supreme, and just loving that supreme, being sheltered by that supreme. And then if you do that very well, um, then you may enter into samadhi, right? A feeling of oneness with the supreme. And I'm not saying that as though that's totally impossible. I mean, a real samadhi, or real unification of the supreme, is called nirvikalpi samadhi, which means where you literally have suspended the mind and are just the soul. Now that is a full samadhi, but that is very hard. Before that, you might achieve a savikalpi samadhi, which is where you merge your mind with the supreme consciousness as mind. Savikalpi samadhi. So your mind then becomes fully immersed in God, but you're still in the mind. The mind is not suspended. When the mind suspends and you're just your soul, that's savikalpi samadhi. That's the higher samadhi. So there's different degrees of samadhi. And we're going to talk more about that today, actually. But should definitely feel like you're going into samadhi. You need to understand. Some people will try to say, "Oh, that's like super hard, impossible," but no, I have an opposite view. I think that it's easy. I want to encourage you to think that going into some kind of samadhi is easy, and you should practice going into samadhi as much as possible, feeling complete oneness with the supreme consciousness. So, um, so we just went over the different stages of that meditation. And so, as you can see, we've been doing this meditation every Saturday here. And our meditation is very complete and well-rounded because we incorporate all of the limbs of Ashtanga yoga, especially those 6. Yama and niyama you kind of do outside, right? You do those like off the mat, okay? These other ones you do on the mat, on your cushion. Let me check in now and see if there's any comments, and then I'd love to talk to you about the video, okay? And I want to show you a clip of the video. So let me do just some quick check-in here for some comments. Mira has joined. Namaskar, dear sister from India. It's so nice to have you join us. Thanks for being here on your Saturday night. And what part of India are you joining us from? Maybe you're close to Simran. Now, Rawad said, beautiful, let's do it. Okay. How did the meditation go for you, Rawad? Please let us know. Michaela from Roma, Italy. Ooh, you're lucky. I would love to be in Rome right now. Go see the Colosseum. Go to every place in Italy is beautiful, isn't it? Okay, and Gloria has joined. Namaskar, Gloria. It's so nice to have you here. Baba, thank you for sharing that, Mira. And we have, she says, just awesome. Karen says, this really hit me deeply. Bright light. Then the offering was such a release, such a connection. Grateful blessings. Okay, Karen, sounds like you did it correctly. Sounds like you got it down. If you have any questions about that offering that we did at the end, I'd be happy to answer any more questions. There's a more advanced way to do that practice, which I know you'll eventually learn, especially as you stay in the community and you go on to get your first lesson and all of that and your subsequent lessons. But when you do this offering at the end, there's a mantra that goes with it. And it's a long mantra, but it can be easily memorized. What we're doing is we're practicing the same thing just without the mantra. There's also one last step that we are not incorporating, but we're essentially doing the practice anyway. So I invite you, Karen, and others who found the last part wonderful, because it is, I invite you to practice that every day. And what's cool, what I hope you liked about the video, 8 Limbs of Yoga Explained through a crime drama, the video now I'm going to show you a clip of, is that the character Andaka does that, right? And that's what really, really helps Andaka helps him to let go of his past, that exercise, and it doesn't happen in one day. You do that exercise every day after your meditation, you start to feel transformation. Okay, but just one day of doing it can do a lot. So I'm glad you enjoyed that, Karen. Rawad said, it's not easy to describe the meditation experience. It's just so beautiful and deeply effective. Wonderful, wonderful. So Mira is in Delhi. That's great. I hope you're doing well, Mira. India has been on the news about the COVID, the pandemic. The whole world right now is concerned for India. I hope that you and your family are doing well. And of course, everybody else there as well. Thanks for joining us. Rawat says, I wonder where I can draw the line between the mind and the soul and the supreme consciousness. Okay, so hold that thought, okay? That's a very good question. And I'm glad you're asking questions like that. So Karen says, it touched you through the release. That's wonderful. I'm getting goosebumps as you say all this, okay? Because I'm happy that these practices work for you. And Karen says, I will work on this. Great. And Rawad, hold your question. That's a very good question. But right now, let me show you a clip of the video, okay? So here we go. Here's a clip from the video, 8 Limbs of Yoga Explained through a crime drama. It was the full moon of August in 1939. Andaka was waiting for nightfall to terrorize one of the cremation grounds near the Hooghly River, when suddenly he saw a young man sitting by the river motionless, gleaming in the moonlight. Andaka looked all around to make sure the place was deserted. He thought for sure this young gentleman would have some money on him. Andaka crouched down like an animal stalking his victim. He was inching closer to gag the young man's mouth from behind and put a knife to his throat, when suddenly the young man spoke Andaka's name and ordered him to sit down. Andaka was surprised, but then immediately thought, someone must be playing a trick on me. He sat down, but soon realized that this was not a trick. Somehow the young man knew everything about him, where he lived, who his mother was, and even the thugs that Andaka would be meeting later. The young man's name was Mahendra, a college student at the time, but also a tantric master who frequented cremation grounds during the full moon to do his meditation. Mahendra said, I know you want my money, but I have something more valuable than money. Do you care to find out what it is? Yes, answered Andaka. Well, first you must clean up. I can't take you to a party if you're covered in filth. Jump in the river and cleanse yourself, and then come back and sit right where you are. Andaka was astonished, but he decided to play along. He thought, who was this magician, and what tricks would he try to pull? He wondered how Mahendra knew all those intimate details about his life. When Andaka came back, Mahendra started scolding him on his evil ways. Mahendra began to list his biggest sins and all the pain he caused. And as Mahendra mentioned them one by one, Andaka began to weep silently. Mahendra then explained the 10 moral principles of yoga called the yamas and niyamas, saying, you must now follow these 10 principles faithfully if you want to change your life and start making something good out of yourself. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed watching that. And I know many of you have already seen the video. If you haven't seen the video, I definitely invite you to watch it so you can see what happens with Andaka. Today, we might be doing some spoilers because we'll have a discussion on the videos. But I'll just begin our discussion by talking about, let's see, these 8 limbs of yoga. Yama, niyama, right? Asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyan, and samadhi. They're all in the video for you to see later. Now, these 8 limbs of yoga, they are like I would say, the ultimate package, okay? They are the ultimate package for a few things. But number one, they are the ultimate package for practicing Tantra, okay? A lot of times, Tantra is very abstract. You know, here on Tantra Thoughts, sometimes I get messages from people, they want to start practicing Tantra, right? And the question is, they don't know how. You know, do I need to learn the history? Do I need to do and sometimes it's like, what are the sexual practices? But we're not going to talk about those misconceptions now. But the way we practice Tantra is by practicing these 8 practices. So it is the ultimate package to be a glorified tantric meditator, tantric practitioner, tantrika. And the first 2, the yamas and niyamas, are the moral guidelines, right? The moral principles. And I would say that before somebody practices meditation, it's not a bad idea that the teacher would prescribe to that person, oh, you want to learn meditation? You want to start practicing meditation? Okay. If you want to start doing that, first practice these yamas and niyamas for a few weeks, all of them. After you've done that, I will teach you meditation. So that's, if somebody had that approach, I would understand that. I would respect that. Because you see, these 10 moral principles are really the foundation toward living your best life. When you practice these 10 things on a daily basis in a concentrated fashion, all of your relationships improve. all of, what, just think of how these are like keystone habits. You know, just take, for example, satya. You practice satya, using your words in the name of benevolence. Well, if you do that really properly, think of how much that will improve your the relationship with your partner. Speaking sweetly to your beloved, to your husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, your partner. Um, and then suppose you use satya, and then with your children, how that will improve the relationship with your children. And then out in at work, you use satya when you're speaking to your coworkers, your colleagues, your boss. How much harmony you will create at work just by how you carefully choose your words and you speak only in the name of benevolence. And then with your friends, you know and then, I mean, just imagine how exponentially the growth, the benefits, the value that gets created from just one little practice, how that can dramatically improve all of your relationships, because we human beings are very verbal, and so much is transmitted through the word. To be impeccable with the word is satya. So that's just one example. And then if you think of other examples like aparigraha or asteya. Aparigraha is to live simply and not indulge, and with material things, not accumulate, to not be greedy, basically. I mean, just that principle would totally collapse capitalism, and create something much better. And asteya, to avoid the tendency of wanting to steal something or occupy something or take something that doesn't belong to you. Oh my God, nobody would lock their doors anymore, because there's no worry that somebody's going to want to come and steal something from you. Everybody would feel so safe. So okay, but yes, today we're talking about the 8 limbs of Ashtanga yoga, but these yamas and niyamas are the foundation for not just good meditation, but life, peace. We all want peace. We all want the world to be a better place. Um, what I love about them is that they're not only internally beneficial, but also externally beneficial for the world. So um, the other thing, so then, I compare the yamas and niyamas to, like, in the world of business. In the world of business, there are also foundational principles. Like, for example, every business should have a target audience and a value proposition. Who are the people that they work for, right? Who is their product for example? That's the target audience. And then the value proposition. What do they offer that audience? What's the value that they offer to their customer or their audience? So just like that, the world of business has foundational principles. I mean, spiritual life and life itself, in my opinion, these are those foundational principles to follow. And so the video, touches a little bit on the yamas and niyamas, and then of course it shows Andaka, the character, go through his whole journey of transformation, practicing the next 6 limbs of yoga. And what it shows is not only him doing it internally, because today we practice those 6 limbs of yoga internally, but those same limbs of yoga can be practiced externally. For example, just take pratyahara. Pratyahara is something you can do in your meditation internally, letting go of the world, doing the flower exercise to release the burdens of your mind. These are internal practices. But pratyahara can be done externally too, in different ways. Like, why is it that we all need a vacation? We all need a vacation. We all need a break. Why is it that when the weekend rolls around, we're like, yes, oh my God, finally a break, right? Because the senses get oversaturated and you need to withdraw from things, from overstimulation. It's very natural. So that's why we go on vacations, to withdraw from our lives, from our routines and the world in many ways, and just kind of go to a place where we've let go of that. We can now feel happier. And people even drink and do drugs for a type of pratyahara experience to numb their senses and go within to their happy place, by numbing their senses. So all of these limbs of Ashtanga yoga can be practiced like that, internally and externally in different ways. Even something as deep as samadhi, this longing for oneness. Well, anytime you hug somebody, you're one with that person in that moment. That's a longing for oneness. So the video tried to illustrate all of that, the internal practices of the limbs of yoga and the external practices. Does anybody have any comments? I see here Alicia says, the offering is so powerful for me. I feel so immersed in love and a feeling that I'm safe and all is well. That's great. The video illustrated that too. Do you remember the scene in the video where Andaka, he makes the offering? So that part is pictured in the film, in the animated film. Well, we can go ahead and start to close. Does anybody have any more comments or questions on the video? I will right now provide for you all the link to watch this video in case you haven't yet. Let me put that here. Okay. Enjoy it if you haven't seen it yet. Let's go ahead and start to close. Thank you so much for joining me today. What we're going to start doing at the online meditations is we're going to start having discussions on some of the videos that are released on Tantra Thoughts. Okay. So definitely, keep an eye out for all the new videos that are released, because at some point, because probably the next week, that'll be our discussion for our Saturday session. Today's video release on Tantra Thoughts will be this meditation guide. This guided meditation that we did will be available as a video on Tantra Thoughts. So at some point today, you'll see that premiere. Okay. It might even be the guided meditation we just did. I'm not sure. Maybe I can use that recording and use that. All right, so last comments here. Tooth says, just discovered your channel. It's been a joy. Keep doing what you're doing. All right, Tooth, please join us next Saturday, same time, same place, okay? Don't go ahead and come back. And just in case, if you're on Facebook, let me give you our Facebook group link. All right, and then Rawad says, I'm happy for being here. All the love. See you next Saturday, Rawad. I'll give you more details then about how to get a personal mantra through our system. Okay? All right. Take care, everybody. I love you all very much. Thank you, Simran, for your love there. I love you all so much. I look forward to seeing you next Saturday. I'll see you later today in the new guided meditation that we release on Tantra Thoughts. Namaskar.